Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. Today I'm going to discuss on price elasticity of demand from chapter 2. In my previous video, I discussed on elasticity of demand. There were three types of elasticity of demand and I discussed on those three. Today I will discuss on only price elasticity of demand, that is one type. This price elasticity of demand, we can call it by own price elasticity of demand also, because in price elasticity of demand examines the change in the quantity demanded for any product due to the change of its own price. So the definition we can say this way: price elasticity refers to the ratio of the change in quantity demanded and price of the product. So in short, the definition can be given this way. The formula we get, that is price elasticity equal to percentage change in quantity demanded by percentage change in price. So this is a very clearly this formula can very clearly illustrate price elasticity of demand. We usually use this, but another symbolic formula is there that we get from this formula. Let us see that. Here, percentage change in quantity demanded by percentage change in price. From this, we get the next step. Here, percentage change in quantity demand, that we can write this way, that is change in demand by primary demand into 100, and percentage change in price we can write this way, that is change in price divided by primary price into 100. So here change in demand means after change in price there is a change in demand, that we actually mentioning here by del Q. Del means change and Q means quantity of demand. And primary demand means before the price change takes place, the demand, that is primary demand. And change in price, that is del P, that is change in price, and divided by primary price, that is before change takes place, the price, that is primary price. So by multiplying by 100, actually we have got the percentage change in quantity of demand and percentage change of price. So ultimately this 100 will cut out, and so we have only this only remains. So here we find del Q by Q. So I have written here del Q by Q, and divided by this one I have written here divided by del P by P. And then in the next step I have just multiplied, just change the division into multiplication, so that here del Q by Q, then multiplied by that is P becomes numerator and del P becomes denominator. And then we have rearranged it nicely as del Q by del P one side and P by Q another side. So this is price elasticity equal to del Q by del P into P by Q. This is another formula. So when we find out the elasticity of demand for any product, we can actually use any formula. We can use this formula or we can use this formula. So next, let us now see how many types of price elasticity of demand is there. Price elasticity of demand, it is 5 types. 1, elastic, then inelastic, then unit elasticity, perfectly elastic, perfectly inelastic. In my previous video, very shortly I discussed it. Today I will discuss it with diagram. Elastic means that is when we get the result. Sometimes ago we have seen a formula. When in the formula we find the result greater than 1, then we say it elastic demand. When smaller than 1, then it is inelastic demand. When result is equal to 1, that is unit elasticity. And when result is infinity, then that is called perfectly elastic, and when the result is zero, it is called perfectly inelastic. So let us examine it one by one. What is elastic demand? When the change in quantity demanded is higher than the change in price is called elastic demand. That means here quantity that is demanded is very much responsive to price change. So whatever the price change, quantity of demand is changing more than the price change. And so that the graph we get that is like this. A vertical axis price is measured. In the horizontal axis, quantity of demand is measured, and we see that here price change from 4 to 5, and for that reason quantity of demand decreases from 30 to 20. And here we see from the distance 4 to 5 distance and 20 to 30 distance, if you notice carefully, actually the percentage can be seen from that distance. Here the percentage change of price is smaller than percentage change of quantity demand. That means quantity demanded uh, it changes greater than the change in price, and so the demand curve we get that is a bit flatter. A and B point, when we add, we get a demand curve that is a bit flatter. So when we get when we see the demand curve is flatter shape, then we will understand it is actually representing elastic demand. So let us see in the formula. Here you see percentage change in quantity demanded, that is 20%, but percentage change in price is smaller, that is 10%. So in the definition, we have just read it that change in quantity demanded is greater than change in price, that is elastic demand. So here change in quantity demand is greater than change in price, and so that we get the result that is 2, which is greater than 1, so that we can say it is elastic demand. So after doing the sum, you have to write a comment that is, in this case the demanded good is luxury good, or in this case the demand is elastic, and uh, and actually for luxury good we find that elastic demand, because in luxury good what you see, when price decreases then many people go to buy that product, but when price increases then many people postpone their purchase, because as it is luxury good, as it is not necessary, so people can wait to reduce the for reducing the price. So uh, our quantity of demand change more or respond more than price change, because for luxury good, for small increase or decrease in price, actually uh, it has much effect on the budget of people. Because suppose a luxury good is car, so if you think a luxury good is car, then if car price increase uh, small, if there's small increase in car price, though the amount is not very small for people, and if the price decreases a little, then that amount of decrease of price, that is also a big amount, because it is uh, around the some lakh. And that's why people, when there is small increase in the price of luxury good, people do not people postpone their purchase, people wait when when the price will reduce, and when price reduce then many people go to buy that. Okay, so this for that reason we find elastic demand for luxury goods mainly. Now let us see inelastic demand. For inelastic demand, we see if the change in price of product is higher than the change in quantity demanded for the product is called inelastic demand. That means price of the product is changing more than the change in the quantity demanded. Here we see the distance, price is changing more than the change in quantity demanded. Here price increases from 4 to 5, but quantity demand decreases from like 22 from 20. Okay, that is quantity demand is responding less to price change. Actually, this type of inelastic demand we get for necessary product, because for necessary product, whatever the price, whether it is it increases a lot or decreases a lot, but necessary good we have to use according to our need, and so that our quantity demanded responds less, and so that price to price change, quantity demand is changing or responding less, and so that here distance of price, the percentage change in price is greater than percentage change in quantity of demand, and in this case the demand curve we get that is a bit steeper. Here by adding the point A and B we are getting a steeper demand curve, and when we do the sum by formula, then we get the result that is smaller than 1. Here you see in the formula, percentage change in quantity demanded, that's 10%, but percentage change in price is more, that is 20%. That means price change is more, but our demand is not changing that much, because necessary good people use according to their need. And here we have got the result zero point 0.5, that is smaller than 1. So that when we get the result smaller than 1, we can understand that is inelastic demand. And we can give a comment, in this case the demanded good is the good of necessity. Then see unit elasticity. When the change in the price of the product and the change in quantity demanded is equal, is called unit elasticity. So we can see it very clearly in the diagram. Here you see 4 to 5 and change in price, and change in quantity demand 25 to 20. That is when price rises, quantity demand decreases, equal amount. So same percentage, and so that we get the demand curve that is just very nicely uh, convex to the origin. That is, by adding A and B point we get a demand curve that is precise shape demand curve, that is price elasticity equal to 1. So let us see in the formula. Here percentage change in quantity demand is 10%, percentage change in price also 10%, that is equal to 1. Actually the product that is not very luxury to consumer or neither very necessary, that is normal good, we get the unit elasticity. So in this case the demanded good is a normal good. Then let us see perfectly elastic demand, how it is. When quantity demanded for any product changes infinite amount due to a very insignificant change in price is called perfectly elastic demand. That means here price change is very insignificant. There's very, very small change in price. Due to that, quantity of demand change a lot, even infinite amount. So how the demand curve in this case? In this case, you see the demand curve is the just parallel to the horizontal axis. Here, the insignificant change in price is shown uh, by no apparent change in the price, and quantity of demand that is changing infinite amount, and so that for very very insignificant change in price we are getting infinite amount of change in demand, and so that the demand curve is this shape. Actually this type of demand curve in perfectly competitive market, an individual firm actually uh, faces this type of demand curve. Okay, so in perfectly competitive market we know that all firms have to uh, accept a price that is uh, that is fixed in the industry level, and so that individual firm has to uh, follow that price. So if any firm, any individual firm reduce the price, then all consumers go to that firm, depend on that firm to buy their product. And in because in perfectly competitive market all goods are homogeneous good, all goods are same. So students, when you go to the chapter of market, then you will understand more of this, because there we will discuss, or we will study on perfectly competitive market. So now let us go to the next. Oh, here, this is the formula, and here insignificant change in price is shown by 0, and here amount of demand given, that is great change, that is 50%. And when we divide anything by 0, then we do not get any result, that becomes infinite amount. Okay, so this type of demand is seen in the perfectly competitive market. Now number 5, perfectly inelastic. When there is no change in quantity demanded due to the change in price is called perfectly inelastic demand. So in this case, the diagram is like this. That is, there is a change in price, but there's no change in the quantity of demand. When price is 5, then quantity of demand is 10 unit. When price increase to 10, then also quantity of demand is 10 unit. There's no change in quantity of demand. So by adding A and B, we get a demand curve that is parallel to the vertical axis. So in this case, elasticity, price elasticity equals to 0. So actually very urgent good, that is very urgently we need, then whatever the price, our need does not change. Suppose for any medicine for any patient, uh, whatever the price, he has to take the medicine according to doctor's prescription. So if price rises, or if price is very low, or whether price is high or low, he has to takes the same amount of medicine. So now let us see in the formula. Here percentage change in quantity demanded, percentage change in price, you see quantity demand 0%, that means there is no change in demand, that's why change is 0. And price, a price is shown, that is 50% change. So when you divide 0 by any number, then you get the answer 0. So it is called perfectly inelastic demand. In perfectly inelastic demand, the result is 0. In this case, the demanded good is in urgent need. So 5 type of price elasticity of demand I have discussed. Now let us give a small example how we find the result by using formula. Suppose there is an example. If the primary price of any commodity is taka 10 per unit, then the demand is 100 units. But when price changed to taka 9, that means primary price is 10 and new price is 9. So after falling the price, the demand increased to 110 units. That means primary quantity of demand is 100 and now change amount is 110 units. So how is the elasticity of demand for the product? Now from this question, some information is given to us in this question. We have to find out how is the elasticity of demand of that product, because we are seeing there is a change in price, that is 10 to 9, and change in demand 100 to 110. Now we have to find out how much change, what percentage change is there for quantity of demand to price change, and what is the ratio. And from that ratio, or that is from the formula, when we get the result, that is, it can be equals to 1 or smaller than 1, or equal to or greater than 1, or infinity or 0, any result we can get. Then from the result we have to reach to a decision, that is, what is the elasticity of demand for this product. Here we say Q, that is primary quantity is 100 and new quantity, that is 110. Primary price is 10 and new price is 9. That is, when price is 10, consumer buying 100, and when price decrease to 9, then consumers demand increases to 110. Now putting the value in formula, we know we have this formula, that is del Q by del P into P by Q. So what is del Q? Change in quantity. That is change in quantity. How can we measure that? We have to measure by subtracting old amount from new amount. That is 110 minus 100. That is Q1 minus Q. That is 110 minus 100. So the change in demand we get, that is 10. Then change in price. Here this is change in price. So change in price, how we get? That is from new price to old price. That is 9 minus 10. So 9 minus 10 we get minus 1. Now let us put it here. Del Q 10, del P minus 1, primary price 10, and primary quantity 100. Now we get the result minus 1. That is 10, 10 the 100, then 10, 10 cut out, then only minus 1 left. So that the result is minus 1, that is smaller than 1, that means inelastic. So we can say the demand for the product is inelastic. So in this way, so the demand for the product is inelastic, and so we can say the product is necessary, good of necessity. So in this way, we have to find out the answer. We have to reach to a decision. So I hope this video, that is on own price of elasticity, own price elasticity of demand, I hope it will help you. So please please practice it yourself. Thank you very much today. See you in the next video.